Hi everyone, it's Vicky, hope you're well. I'm going to be showing you how I made this lovely shaker card with the wee flamingo together set by Fawn. So I actually did all the prep work for this. So I did all my stamping just onto Nina cardstock with extreme black ink, and this is, as I said, the flamingo together stamp set from Fawn. I've created a slimline card and I've cut out my two pieces from the scalloped slimline with heart landscape die. So it does cut out those hearts and also the words in the middle of them. So I have kept them so I can use them on another project. I also will be needing some sequins because I'm making a shaker card, some acetate for the same reason, and then also some tape and things like that. So the first thing I need to do is to do my colouring on my flamingos. So I got out my bright pink blend and my bright pink shades. So the darkest of the shades was a bit too dark, but I decided the mid one was probably about right for the kind of darkness I wanted on my flamingos. So I'm going to put one flamingo on either side of the card. So I'm going to have my light source theoretically in the centre as if it was shining down where the sequins are. So I'm going to do all my shading to the back and where shadow will be cast on this penguin. So all the shadow will be to the left of the penguin. Flamingo, it's not a penguin, it's a flamingo. Please ignore me. I think I'm officially cracking up. I'm doing all my shading to the back end and then all the lightest shade, which is the darkest of the lighter pen, to the right hand side. And then when I do the other flamingo, I will literally do the exact opposite. So I'll put all the shading to the right hand side and the light to the left. You'll see that I have stamped out those palm trees as well, just the silhouette palm trees. I did intend to use them on the card, but you'll see later on I do put them into position, and I didn't like it with them on. I didn't think they necessarily worked the way that I wanted them to in the overall aesthetic of the card. So I decided against keeping them on there. So again, I'm just shading in from the right to the left, and I like that the female flamingo has like little fluttery eyelashes, which I just think's adorable. It makes me really smile. I do like these little images. They're very, very cute. There are a few other images in the stamp set which you'll have seen when I showed you it to begin with, and I'm just using the orange blends for the noses, the beaks rather. There are some great ones. There's a few variations on the punny lines to go with it as well, but I like the wee flamingo together was the one I decided to go with. So I did heat emboss that in white embossing powder onto the very, very front panel. And so that's just to show you that that's all being done nicely over there. If you are heat embossing, please make sure you use an anti-static tool to save with the mess. So I have cut a piece of acetate that'll just fit in behind that middle heart, and I'm going to use some of my very thin double-sided tape to stick the acetate onto the card. So I'm just going to position that and pop it down. It doesn't need to be really, really neat. This is the back of your card. As long as there is enough tape there to make sure your acetate stays in place, you're golden with this. So I'm just putting it around that heart because that's where it's going to go. And then I will use my bone folder just to make sure that's well and truly secured against that piece of card. And then I will peel that off. So this is 1/8 of an inch, this tape as well, just in case you were wondering how thick it was. I like to be full of information for you guys. And then I'm going to take my piece of acetate and I'm just going to stick that down. And what I will do is again use that bone folder just to make sure it's really well pressed down and it's not going to shift off that tape, because we do not want that to move once we start doing our shaker element. So next step is to pop my backing panel onto the card blank. So I'm just going to use a mixture of tape, roller pen and some wet glue. The tape for the quick stick and the glue for that little bit of wiggle room before I press down hard. So I'm just going to cover that over there. I'm trying to make sure I stay away from where that's stitch detail edges, because I don't want the glue to come squirting out of the gaps between it. I've done that before. It's messy and it's not pretty and it's very annoying. So we don't want to do that. So So I'm going to stick that one down, and then it's time to put some foam tape on the back of that panel. It's very tedious watching me put foam tape on. It took me a long time to cut it to the right size, so I thought I'd spare you all that torture. If I was making a shaker that I would be popping on top of a card blank, I would put the sequins into the section, but do make sure that you do use your anti-static tool against the acetate and on your card backing, just so that you do still get those sequins moving. Otherwise they do sometimes want to stick to the acetate. So I'm just putting a pylon in the middle of my card because I know that's where my acetate window is, and then it's a case of getting all this backing paper off. Those of you who have watched my videos before will know this is not my specialist skill, getting the backing paper off. So while I'm doing that, I will quickly go over a little bit more with the double-sided tape, with the foam roll rather. Please make sure that you do go very securely around the area where your shaker element will be. You don't want any gaps, because otherwise the shaker details will come flying out and hit someone in the eye when you shake the card. I haven't done it yet, and I hope never to do it, but I imagine it would not be good. So please be careful. Make sure you do put a nice continuous board around, and I'm going to put that into place, and I'll probably spend a good while putting that in place, and then I will give that a little shake. You can double up your foam tape if you want a little bit more depth, but I didn't want it to be too thick and chunky, but it does still shake around nicely, which is great. I like quite a full shaker window as well. I don't like it when they're really empty. So what I'm going to do now is position my little flamingos on here, which every time I look at them I fall a little bit more in love with, I'm not going to lie. So again, I'm getting my foam tape out, and what I'm doing is I'm just popping a bit of foam behind where the flamingo will be sticking over the elevated section, so over that window, to give it a bit of extra stability for where it's positioned. And then I'll use just some wet glue for the bits where it's against the red section. So where it's over the pink, it'll have foam tape. Where it's over the red, it'll have just a little bit of glue. So I'm just going to pop some glue on his head and his feet, because they're the bits that will be, oh, and his little bum, because they're the bits where it'll be actually over the card action. I did nearly forget to take the backing off the foam tape, I'm not going to lie as well. That would have been quite amusing if I'd forgotten to take that bit off. Same with her, so I'm going to pop a little bit of glue actually onto the back of the card there, because I know where her head roughly covers, but I figured that would be slightly easier. Her feet, and then I just need to obviously take the backing off the foam tape and position her. So you're about to see where I play with the palm trees and then decide that I actually am not really keen on them. You'll obviously see the palm tree in position. Do feel free to comment and let me know what you think, whether or not you like it. I just didn't think it really worked with what I wanted, but you know, it's a personal preference. But that is the card finished, believe it or not. I hope you've enjoyed this shaker card video. I will be putting another one on soon. I have another one all prepped in another little bag ready to make and show you guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed the card, please do press like, subscribe. Any comments are greatly appreciated, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.